Sleeping, go kill him.
What's up, bro?
I'm watching some Lucio gameplay with you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, this is some pro gameplay, right? Right?
Yeah. This is literally me 10 months ago. And here's the thing though. This type of gameplay made sense 10 months ago because Lucio was overpowered. Like Lucio had a Reinhardt hammer. He did because melee was 50 damage and then Soundwave was 25 damage. That's 75 damage. That's basically a Reinhardt swing.
Okay.
Right? So when I used to play like this, I could 1v1 every single hero in the game.
Okay.
Genjis, Tracers, you name it. I could 1v1 everyone. So when you play like this, not only I was not dying, I was killing shit, dude. I was getting gold medals on like eliminations every single game.
Yeah.
So I developed the habit of playing exactly like this, right? I was like known for it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got into screaming and like high level scrims, you quickly realize that you cannot get away with this. And not only you cannot get away with it, because Lucio got nerfed to the ground, it was like pointless, right? Like your damage output is useless. What you do when you play like this is basically you're like an evasion tank. You're like a distraction.
Yeah.
People are looking at you. They might even call it, and it's a mistake, right? Because let's say you're playing Soldier here on defense on Boscaya, and you see this Lucio that's like just being annoying. He's like a fly flying by, right?
Yeah.
And you might try to kill the guy, but that's not where your damage should be. So you're making a mistake by trying to kill the Lucio that you're not gonna kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that's the only effectiveness that this gameplay has. And on a pop, it's not insignificant because they're not coordinated. So it's like if the soldier's not putting damage where he should, then he might be making like a huge mistake and he might lose the pop because of that, right?
Yeah.
And more than one guy would try to like focus on this Lucio and they would even call it and try to like chase him or whatever and make a huge mistake because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like it's a useless way to play Lucio right now. You're not dealing damage. You can die easily to a lot of shit. And my biggest concern and the reason why I don't even enjoy playing Lucio like this anymore is because if I'm putting that much focus in moving like this, I'm not thinking about the macro perspective of the game, like the ultimates that the enemy team is gonna have. What do we have? How should we like approach this engage and all of that? Because I'm just war riding and trying to survive. When as a support player, I need to be thinking about what are we gonna do. Because like the guy that's playing McCree, he only wants to think about aiming and killing people and getting headshots, right?
Okay.
So by me playing the support role, thinking about stuff like that, that's gonna help them, you know?
Yeah, and what do you say to the people that say that this is useful for rising in competitive, and because there's a distinction between competitive and scrims and tournament. What do you say that to people that say, well, you should play like this in competitive if you're not planning on being a pro?
Well, no, I disagree completely. Like whatever we do in the pro scene is gonna work in pubs. It's gonna work, except like let's say for example, I don't know. You're playing the way you play Reinhardt on screens. Maybe it's completely different than the way you play Reinhardt on pops because you cannot rely on people like saving your ass, right?
Yeah.
But for support play, I think you can pretty much play the same way you play on screens and every other class, like DPS classes and pretty much everything. I mean, making some like exceptions, like you could go for more flanks and making more solo plays on pops because people are not gonna like punish you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with excluding those exceptions, like whatever works on a professional match, it's gonna work on a pub, and it's the same game. Like pro players know how to play the game way better than people playing, masters or so. However they play the game is just the best way to play the game. Period.
To play the way here. Okay, a lot of people, I've actually met a lot of people who are like, "Oh, pro plays don't work in pro, bro." I'm like, I try to explain to people, "Hey, but this is what the pros do." They're like, "Well, we're not in a pro game." What do you say to those people?
Well, I would say they're right.
Yeah.
This is not a pro game, but the thought process behind what pro players do is still a stance. We're playing under the same rules. It's the same competitive rule set. So whatever they did is obviously the right call, like for the most part.
Yeah,
It's the same game.
I don't know if you could see it, but Kano or Yeah, Inco in my stream says, in the end, shouldn't a great Lucio be able to do both, simultaneously booping and harassing while mostly playing passively as well?
Yeah, but here's what like a good Lucio would do. Like when you see pro Lucio plays, like they like their first role is to support the other support class in the game, like whether it's the Ana or a Sanjara, in particular the Sanjara, because he has like no other way to survive other than his Lucio body.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're playing Lucio Zen, like your first priority as a Lucio player is to protect your Sanjara, period, because when the Genji engages the Sanjara or the Tracer, you're the only guy who can reliable like keep him up for like 2 seconds by either speed boosting him out from the monkey or by pooping the Tracer away or healing him, whatever. Just you have to protect him.
Okay.
But there's more. When you can protect your Reinhardt, like when your Reinhardt shield is up, and you see because when you want to kill a Reinhardt and his shield is not dead, you have to dive past the Reinhardt shield. And if you boop whoever's trying to do that, like that buys your Reinhardt 3 seconds. That can be the difference between like dying or like surviving because the Ana is ready to like nade him and put him back to full HP.
Yeah.
So those are the things that like good Lucio players focus on doing on pro matches.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about wall riding and being on near the skybox, because when you are near the skybox, you cannot protect your Reinhardt, you cannot protect your Senjata, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you would actually, say for Lucio to stick next to, their Reinhardt and their support player to protect them because of use their knockback and their speed buff to protect them.
Correct.
Okay.
Or
yeah.
sometimes you have to protect your McCree, because but basically what you do is you understand what the enemy is trying to do. Say you have your McCree in high ground, and that's the only DPS class, particularly in this meta where like you're playing 3 tanks and a single like DPS player.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people would try to dive that McCree, right? Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they would send like a monkey and a Genji or like a Diva and something else to like try to kill the McCree. So instead of protecting Ana, which you don't have to because Ana is playing with the other tanks, you protect your McCree instead. But basically, what Lucio is like is a protection. You buy people time, you get them out of trouble.
You get them out of trouble. Well, is that not a playstyle that's more in line with DspStanky? Like, what is he doing that is different from that playstyle? Is he playing too aggressively? Is he not focusing on the supporting or on the defending his team enough?
He has no idea for the most part where his like teammates are, because he's just focusing on wall riding and just being like an annoyance to the other team, you know.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes he'll heal, yeah, but for the most part he's just focusing on just moving around and putting like chip damage, because that's all Lucio does. Lucio has no damage at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a very good insight. Because watching this, and I made that video where I put my take on deep and Stanky's playstyle, and I pretty much said what you're saying, where he plays a playstyle where his focus isn't on his team. Like, he doesn't see what's going on with his team. His focus is on his relationship to the enemy, right? And he's going off and being a pseudo Genji and a tracer. When the way I like to play is I like to play. Basically, I like to be whatever my team needs. If I see that my teammates in trouble, I like to use a speed buff. I like to know that they're in trouble. I like to know that someone needs my knockback. I like to know that I can run up safely, and knock back that flanker who's going to be on my team. I'd rather have the Genji or Tracer trying to kill me than the Genji or Tracer trying to kill someone on my team. I like to keep track of the enemy team's ultimates, and also I like to be able to have the situational awareness to get a perfect sound barrier. But I found that with that playstyle, it's very hard to, especially in solo queue, it's very hard to rise with that type of playstyle, which is why a lot of people are saying that, DPS, a DSP's Stanky's playstyle is the superior one.
Well, no. Okay, so here's the thing, though. He's probably doing more by playing Lucio like this than the other Lucio, right? Because the other Lucio is basically just doing as much in terms of playing the class in a pub, but he's just probably dying more than this guy, and he's also not distracting the team as much as this guy. And like I said, in King of the Hill, like As you see here, like he got like a couple kills there by playing like super aggro and going for boobs,
Uh-huh.
and it works. Like on King of the Hill, is like this play style is not as bad.
Uh-huh.
But like, yeah, I think he's a much better Lucio than the average Lucio that's like probably on the other team. And that's why basically in the long run, probably his team is gonna do better because he probably dies more and he does more in terms of like distracting the other team. And
Okay, distracting on the team and like
so
securing kills.
so he does more than a random Lucio that's like there just to provide auras. And but if you want to play Lucio correctly and like help your team to the fullest, then you need to be able to like communicate effectively, basically. Just keep track of the macro game. Tell them what ultimates we should be using now, what the enemy team is probably going for, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you say to those people like me who say that, despite doing that, they have a hard time rising in competitive? Despite doing the communication and, trying to focus on the macro game, that they are having a hard time rising in competitive, as opposed to someone like DspStanky, who very rarely speaks in his chat, in his team chat. I mean, if you watch him stream, he says, basically two things. Sometimes he'll call out an enemy position, and then sometimes he'll say, "I'm going to speed in 3, 2, 1." Those are the things he shouts out. But otherwise, he's mostly silent, and he lets his team do the talking. So, what do you say to a person who says, "Well, communication obviously is giving me very good results"?
He doesn't need to communicate because he's just having fun playing Lucio. He's just literally like, this is fun to me. Like if I play Lucio like this, I'm gonna have fun. Right? Like not anymore because I'm over playing like this already. That I've done it for too many hours, so I don't get nothing out of it anymore. But like back in the day, like playing Lucio like this is fun. Like when you play Lucio, like Lucio is supposed to be played, you're not having as much fun. So it's true. It's a fact. That's a fact. Especially because like the movement mechanic of Lucio is like probably the most fun thing about the hero. So
yeah,
you're playing like this. That's basically what you're doing. But in terms of like, what do I say to those people? I would say like, if you're getting annoyed because like people don't react to your calls or they don't like listen at all, I would say, and you're still trying to rank up and at least get to masters to where people will like listen to your calls and understand the concepts behind your calls, then just play something else. Period. Like Lucio is not the hero that you want to play when you want to carry games. Like he doesn't carry games. Like it's just a fact. Like this guy breached like 4K because he just plays the game a lot. At some point, you're gonna get on a fucking upswing and get there. Like that's just the way it is.
Okay, just play someone else because Lucio can't carry hard enough.
Yeah, no, like Lucio is not like.
Quote
when I play on my main account, right, and I want to win the game on a solo queue game, I would insta-lock the other support, like probably Ana in this case because it's the best support in the game, right?
Yeah.
So I would insta-lock Ana, and I would let anyone else in the fucking war play Lucio over me, because I know that I just need to like tell the Lucio what to do. Like go to speed boost us there. Okay, everybody, we're gonna get ready to speed boost. We're gonna speed boost to point. That's it. That's how that he's playing Lucio for me. I don't need I don't need DspStanky wall riding like to be effective on Lucio. So you see what I'm saying? But you need a really good Ana. You need the Ana that can aim. You need Ana that can sleep people. You need Ana that can nano boost the targets at the right time. So you do more as an Ana player. So if you want to carry a support, do not play Lucio. Unless you want to play King of the Hill. You're playing King of the Hill. On King of the Hill, I prefer to play Lucio because I get away with more of this stuff. I control the pace of the game more. And since King of the Hill is like a DN brawl, then I feel like I do more on Lucio than a random Lucio that's gonna die. And if the random Lucio dies on King of the Hill, then it's like bad.
So what is the big difference between your like for King of the Hill as opposed to other types of game maps, like game modes that you would like Lucio to carry?
The biggest fact is that I feel like a random Lucio it's gonna die way more often if it doesn't have good movement on King of the Hill, because it's just a huge brawl that enemies are coming from like multiple directions and he's probably gonna be out of position and he's gonna die because it's just on the ground basically, and not using like movement to the full potential.
Mm-hmm. So just the ability to survive mostly is what you're talking
And I
about?
would say, like, honestly, I would say one of the reasons why probably DspStanky it's on a high level is because there are a lot of ranked games that are COD, and not only you play a lot of COD maps on ranked games, it's best of 5, meaning the best team is probably gonna win more often, right? It's not like a single payload where like you might start with like a May and the other team doesn't have a good answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like on King of the Hill, people like that. They play one map and then, oh shit, we did badly. Let's switch our comps, and people would like switch more often
Mm-hmm.
because it's like 5 maps. So the best team is gonna more often end up winning. And in King of the Hill, like the way this guy plays Lucio is actually not bad at all. So that's why like he's probably winning a lot of King of the Hill games, I would say.
Yeah, and that's actually one distinct difference that I'm glad you pointed out, because I actually lose a lot of King of the Hill maps because I actually continue to play support Lucio style in King of the Hill, as opposed to go aggressively like DspStanky, where you're saying like in non King of the Hill maps, the superior play style is being that playing back and seeing everything and doing shot calling. But I bring that playstyle to King of the Hill, and you're saying that the more effective would be to switch more to DspStanky's playstyle when it comes to King of the Hill, as opposed to the more shot cally, pocket Lucio playstyle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good insight. So, I've been learning Ana recently because I've just realized that support Lucio can't carry in a lot of situations, but who would you say is better for King of the Hill if you want to carry as a support, Ana or Lucio, and why?
I would probably still say Ana,
You would
but
still say Ana.
yeah. I just play Lucio because like I enjoy playing Lucio on King of the Hill. It's just fun. It's like I can get away with playing more like this, even though I don't play as much as I used to. Like I don't play exactly like DspStanky. So he's making a lot of mistakes, but just going crazy all the time. Like he doesn't need to be the front line at all. You can play aggro like this and use movement, and you still like play with the team.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it's just fun, yeah.
Yeah,
Like on payload, I cannot play Lucio on payload on pops. I get nothing out of it anymore.
you can't. Oh, you can no longer play. So you switch to Ana pretty much every time you go on payload.
Or Zen, or I work on something else, or
Have you ever tried playing Mercy?
yeah, I've been actually playing Mercy a lot because my Mercy is like really bad. It's probably my worst support.
Okay, so you've been trying to learn her then.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about Mercy's ability to carry?
Actually, I would say it's Mercy and Pops like she's really good because people just ignore the rest, and the rest can like be game changing. Now, I would say just maybe like start with Mercy, and like if you see your team playing together and get good rests, then just keep playing Mercy. Otherwise, I don't think she's that good. But I definitely think that rest can like win you Pops like straight up, because they're gonna stack ultimates. They're gonna like literally all of them. They're gonna press Q at the same time, and you can counter them with a single rest.
Yeah, that's
Great.
the one of the big things that I've been telling my viewers, that Mercy is kind of like a master of the ult economy. Like she completely shifts ult economy in your team's favor, because they all use their ultimates, and then you're just like, well, those are some nice ultimates you got there, Rez.
Yeah, but it's particularly good on pops, because on like high level matches it's not as good because they all know Mercy has rest, and they usually save like a Reinhardt ult or a black hole for after the rest. Like, okay, we know they have rest, and what we do more often than not is, okay, they have Mercy rest, let's get a kill and literally not kill anyone else. So we don't kill people, and like the Mercy is forced to rest one or two, and it's like a waste of rest.
Oh,
And then
man.
you're missing the like Mercy's not as good. Like it's only the rest basically. It's
Oh,
very easy to
man.
play around it. So
That's
that's why
actually
Mercy is like not being played right now. It's like it's good.
in high level tournaments.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the last tournament you played of?
We played today, Winter Series something. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you
we
did. So you did
Yeah,
play recently the tournament. How did you do in that tournament?
yeah, we beat Method. I'm playing on Selfless. We beat Method 2-1, and then we beat the 1% 0.
Oh,
It's
nice.
just group play for now, but
Okay, okay. That was actually really insightful. So, from what you've told me, what I've learned from having the conversation, and Dhak, I really appreciate it. You've been like supporting me since the beginning, man.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But what I've learned from this is that when it comes to King of the Hill, DPS or DSP Stanky's playstyle is more appropriate. But when it comes to carrying non-King of the Hill matches, play Ana. That's basically that's basically what I'm getting out of you. You agree with that?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I personally do on my main account. Like if I solo queue, I don't pick Lucio at all.
Just play Ana.